Trail runners, welcome back to Chasing Gold. We're talking to some of the top contenders at this year's Havalina 100, chasing golden tickets to the 2024 Western States 100. On today's show, we have Nicole Monette. She's 38 from Oxford, Michigan. She ran her first ultra in 2017 at the Ice Age Trail 50K, where she placed third in 4:28. She's a physical therapist and coach with the Ultra Wizard Ramble, Pat Regan Coaching. She's sponsored by Hoka, and she has never run Western States before. Nicole, welcome to the show.
Appreciate you guys having me on.
Awesome. Well, we're really excited to have you coming back to Havalina. You were out here in 2021, unfortunately had to withdraw from the race that year. Tell us a little bit about your past experience at Havalina and why you're returning this year.
Yeah, so I think my experience in 2021 is probably one of the main reasons that I'm returning this year. That's actually the only race that I've dropped out of in my running career. So I definitely wanted to come back and kind of try to finish the whole thing. I'm not sure exactly what happened that day. It was just one of those days I felt awful right from the beginning and just didn't have it that day. So made it 3 loops, hoping to make it 5 this year. I came back last year and paced Pat Regan for his last couple loops. So I've been here the past couple years and enjoyed the atmosphere and just really want to finish the whole thing for myself. So that was my main motivation for coming back this year.
That's awesome. Well, you're definitely one of the favorites heading into this year's race. Looking at some of your past performances, you're at the World 100K Championships in 2021. You ran 7:34. I remember seeing you at Carbon X2 in 2021. You placed second there in 7:43. You've been to Desert Solstice before. You've got a sub 15-hour 100-mile PR as well. So tell us a little bit about your training this year. I know you were out at 6 Days in the Dome 24-hour, but how's the year been for you? How's your training going into this year's Havalina?
Well, the year started off a little bit rough. I broke my femur in December, and so I didn't run much December, January, February, kind of trying to heal up from that. And then started back again running in March and tried to kind of build up for the Dome in June. I don't think my body was quite there yet, but I still got in a good 80-mile run to kind of kick off this training block. And since then, I've been feeling really good, kind of have built back my fitness to where I feel like it was last summer before the 100K champs. And I've had a nice long build up to this because I haven't really done anything except for the Dome this year, other than 150-mile race and the build up to this locally here. So I'm feeling really good now, feeling healthy. And I've been able to put in a nice solid, several months of training here in Michigan. So I'm feeling good about that.
That's awesome. I'm curious, strategic-wise, how do you approach a golden ticket race compared to another event that may not have something like a Western States entry on the line?
That's a good question. I think I got a little bit caught up in that in 2021, which may have been part of the problem that day. I definitely, went out a little too hard, just with getting competitive, and it's such a competitive race and with the golden ticket on the line. So this year I just really kind of want to run within myself, even though it's a golden ticket race, knowing that it also is 100 miles and there's a lot of factors out there. So I don't want to go out too hot. I just kind of want to run by feel and run my own race, and then hopefully catch some people in the second half of the race. I tend to run best, I think, when I run that way. So I kind of want to stay more true to that this year.
Can you go a little bit more into Havalina, the race itself, its unique challenges and race format? I know you're obviously pretty familiar with it not only racing it before, but pacing and just being in the Pat Reagan ecosystem?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously, especially for me coming from Michigan, the heat is the number one challenge for me. It's already pretty cold here and it's been cold for a while. So the heat is a major challenge. The terrain, I think, suits me. I train a lot on dirt roads here in Michigan, and Havalina is similar. In like the terrain. So I like that. I like the loop format. I tend to run well on those type of courses. So I think a lot of it is just pacing, effort. Something I learned the past 2 years is, the first half of the loop is obviously slightly uphill and the second half is slightly downhill. So just to kind of conserve energy that way too, just knowing how the loop is set up and just, making sure you stay as cool as you can out there, and so that the heat doesn't get to you too much, hopefully.
Do you bring any specific gear cooling wise to help keep you at the right temperature out there?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll wear arm sleeves and I'll have an ice bandana. That way, probably starting the second loop, I can put some ice in those, try to keep cool that way, and then just put some ice and water in my hat and try to stay cool with some topical cooling. That will be a main strategy for me for sure.
Nice. Well, that sounds great. I think at this point, we're going to move into our 10-question fartlek round. Nicole, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. First question, what sneakers will you be wearing for the Javelina 100?
I'm going to go with the Hoka Tecton X2.
All right.
Those have worked really well for me this summer. Yeah.
Awesome. Will you be listening to music or podcasts during the race?
I will probably listen to music at some point in the second half of the race. I can't do podcasts when I race. I like them when I train, but not during a race.
Nice. At what age did you stop trick-or-treating?
I think in 8th grade was my last year, but now I get to trick-or-treat again with my 3 kids, so the fun continues.
Awesome. Are you wearing a costume or adding any Halloween-themed touches to your gear?
I don't know. I don't think I'll be wearing a costume, but I haven't thought about maybe a Halloween touch. We'll have to see on that one.
All right. Will candy be part of your nutrition plan?
I wish I could say it is. I cannot chew much when I race either. So most of my nutrition will be things I don't have to chew. So probably not during the race, but afterwards I will be eating my kids' Halloween candy.
Nice. Pre-race breakfast. Are you team bagel or team oatmeal?
Team bagel.
If you could choose a walkout song for Havalina, what would it be?
I think I would have to stick to my Detroit roots here and go with an Eminem song.
Nice.
A classic.
Have you ever hallucinated during an endurance event?
I have not. I guess I need to do an event where I'm out there longer.
Yeah, absolutely. 48 hours or 200 miles, something like that.
Yes, yeah. Right, something like that.
If you could recommend any running-related item to a new runner, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good question. Any running-related item? Let's see. I'm a fan of a heart rate monitor, so I'll go with that. I think you can learn a lot of training insight from using a heart rate monitor.
Interesting. Last question. Yeah. What place are you finishing at the 2023 Havalina 100?
I am going to say I am prepared to finish second, and I am prepared to finish 222nd. I just want to finish. So I'm going to run the best I can, and if I finish, I'll be happy with that.
It's a redemption race for you. Love it. Awesome.
Yeah,
Nicole, Thank you so much for your time with us. Best of luck. We'll see you next week in the desert.
Thank you. I'm excited. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.